Hey everybody, this is John with Proficient Mower. I also work as Briggs fan on justanswer.com. I was going to shoot a video. This will be our first video of 2016. I was going to shoot a video on the carburetor of a 140cc Briggs engine, but we didn't need to rebuild it and stuff, so I figured I'd shoot something small engine related. Basically, a week ago, I picked up this tractor here for 150 bucks off the yard, one of the yard sale sites on Facebook. It's a Troy built LTX 18 horsepower Briggs intek 42-inch cut. I have all the panels and the tube and everything to go with it. I have a yard cart that I'm gonna fix to go with it as well. Just try to sell it as a complete package. But when I first got it, it wouldn't start. I've already taken a lot of it apart, but we originally thought it might have been a solenoid issue. Just it would click back by the solenoid. I replaced the solenoid, still wouldn't start. Went ahead and replaced, checked the ignition and the ignition and everything. Still wouldn't start. Got to the starter motor. I tried jumping the starter motor right off the box, like off of a jump box, and it still just wouldn't start. And the starter motor is really gritty. So what we're hoping for is, I'm hoping that I picked up a new starter motor. This starter motor is real tight. I'm thinking it might have burned up. I picked up a new one off of eBay for 35 bucks, which is really cheap for a brand new starter motor versus going to a small engine shop. So always check eBay for your parts. Should be identical. What we're going to do today is we're going to install it, but before I do that, I'm going to gunk and clean this thing up. As you can see, it's got a lot of oil all the way around. I think he stored it outside, but my concern also is possibly that we could have a sump base gasket leak. The only way to really tell, though, is to actually clean this thing. So let's get our gunk. Some gunk spray here. We're going to try to just clean up this engine some before we put what's it called on it, the new starter and everything. Also could be this oil valve, but I don't see how we get this high. It's just really dirty. The whole tractor is really dirty. Probably not taking care of the best shape, but either way, it still could be a pretty nice tractor to resell and flip, especially if all you're going to do is put maybe $200-300 bucks into it. I mean, a tractor with a bagging kit and an 18 horsepower engine can easily draw you some pretty decent money. Anywhere 600 or above, at least around here in Maryland. And it does have the bag kit and everything, so I'm gonna sand down and repaint that trailer to go with it. It'll be a nice little unit, having a yard cart and everything. Let's go ahead and clean this up some. Yeah. There was no gas in the oil. I checked that too. You always check that with a tractor that's sat over a year. We probably will pull the carburetor and rebuild it, but I'm probably going to do that in another video later on, just because I'm going to keep this video for just installing a new starter. Alright, so if you need to install a new starter on a Briggs intek, the first thing you're going to do, I've already done a lot of this, but we'll just go over some of the steps, is you want to go ahead first and disconnect your battery. That'd be the first thing you want to do. Alright, so first you disconnect your battery, which we've already done right over here. Okay. Then you'd want to undo the two bolts here. There's a bolt here. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. Seeing if this thing's aimed correctly. Okay, right there. There's another one over on this side right here. Right down there, where my finger's at. And right here. And another one right here. And you loosen all of them up enough, and then you can just kind of pick the whole unit up. This whole air filter unit. And there you go. Take that off. So there's a lot of, I mean, it's just grime. Look at that, all over this thing. Really dirty tractor. So we're just trying to gunk it down a little bit to clean it up some. And with your Briggs intekes, your model, type, and code will always be on the overhead valve. A lot of times I have customers on Just Answer that will have questions on replacing parts and they can't find the model, the type, or the code with the Briggs engine. So it's always going to be right here. Model, type, code, right on your overhead valve, right there. Let's clean this thing up a little bit. Now I've already removed the other starter. That's already off. So, but what we can do is I'll show you what it is. We'll do an install, and it's just basically reverse process. There we go. Let's clean this gas tank up too. Alright, so usually your starter mounts right here. There'll be two bolts, one here, one there. Both of those. Don't know if you can see them. Check and see. Right here and right there. Those are your two bolts for your starter. So, let's adjust this. And see that I'm working. Okay, so I've already removed the old starter, but you would have to loosen them to get them out. A lot of times they're like Torx bitted. They have like a T, a T Torx bit. So I'll show you. Like that. See right there? It's got that. I'll set that there. So I'm hoping for 150 bucks. We'll get this thing to turn over. Then what I'll probably do is I'll shoot another video later in the week pulling the carb, and once I pull the carb we can I just want to make sure it's not going to leak, because if we have to rebuild it I'd rather just do it while we have all this stuff apart. I'm going to change the oil in it, and spark plug, just all the basics. Probably hasn't had any of the stuff done. There's no gas in it right now, and I really don't want to add gas yet until I pull and check that carb, because what happens with these Walbro carbs on the Briggs and the Kohler engines is basically the needles stop sealing with the brass inlet valve. So what happens is it starts draining gas down into the crankcase, and once it does that, the gas mixes with the oil while you're running it, you have no clue, and then kapow, you end up either blowing up your motor, locking up your motor. Either way, it can end in you need a new motor. Sometimes you can catch it and rebuild it. So here we go. Get all this cleaned up. Try to check the sump base, make sure the sump base isn't leaking. That's what we're hoping. If it's anything, I'd rather have it be the valve cover gasket. That's an easier fix. Sump base, you got to take the whole motor off and undo the pan. Alright, cool. So we're ready to install starter here. Let's go ahead and get the right size Torx bit and everything, and I'll show you how to install this. So get your new starter. Okay. Okay. Alright. So this one here's got this here, and it's got to go back on that way because I think it holds some wires down and around that engine right there. So you want to make sure that gets back the way it was. Take this here. Here's your nice new starter. Brand new. Okay. Okay. The starter will fit like this right here. Them two holes and line up. And when it comes up with the steel ring, it's going to catch your flywheel and then turn it. So we come up and catch that flywheel and turn it. Right up into there and turn it that way. So that's what you need it to do. Alright, let's go ahead and get the right. Let's grab the socket set. Okay. Like I said, I use one of these little Torx bits. That'll work. Probably going to be the ones down here. Grab one of these. Just fits into there like that. So the socket I'm using for that is a 1/4 inch. So you just use like a long 1/4 inch with the extension. That'll get you within range to actually put this thing back together. Okay. That there. So set this up in here to start. Go ahead and move that there. Set that right there. Okay. So what you want to do is get your socket lined up in here, right there. Turn a little bit to get it started. Alright, let's go ahead and put this one in next. Okay, put this one here. This one will go right there. Sometimes you got to move the ring gear up a little bit, like that, just to get in range. There we go. Now once this is good and tight, like that, you're good. So pull that out, go to the other side, get that one. Make sure that bracket that it had on it is in the right way, holding the wires. Yeah, because there's the wires there. So okay, there we go. There's some wires that run there, so just make sure the bracket's up and over them. And you just put this in here. Need a little bit of light. That's what we need. Let's see.